Hi everyone, my name is Karen and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to demonstrate to you how to make the French classic, the lemon madeleine. So to start off with, we've got our mise en place already set up. Mise en place means having everything already weighed out. So I'll take you through the measurements that you need. We've got unsalted butter, 200 grams, and just so you can see the consistency, it is room temperature. So it's nice and soft, but not melted. Then we have 130 grams of caster sugar. We have 3 eggs. We have 200 grams of plain flour that has been sifted. We have 10 grams of baking powder. We have 1 lemon that we're going to zest. We have some maple syrup. And we have 60 millilitres of milk. And then we've got some blueberries that we're going to press into some of the madeleines. So to start off with, I'm just going to zest our lemon. And I'm going to crack our eggs into a separate bowl. So the reason we crack our eggs into a separate bowl is that we want to make sure that the eggs are good. If we were to add them directly to the mix and they weren't good, sadly you've lost the entire mix. So at least at this stage you can trap any eggs without destroying your hard work. So let's begin. I'm going to move the mixer across so that you can see. If you're concerned that your butter isn't at room temperature and you've just taken it straight out of the fridge, what you can do is cube it like I have, and then you can place it into the microwave for short 10-second bursts until it becomes nice and soft to touch, that you can actually squeeze through it. You don't want it to be melted because that will change the consistency of the madeleine batter. So room temperature is good. I mean, if you want to, you can leave that out overnight at room temperature as well. Okay, so I'm going to add first the butter to my stand mixer. That is fitted with a paddle. Some people will call that a beater as well. And I'm just going to get that started for a moment. To that, I'm going to add the 130 grams of caster sugar. And I'm going to let that mix for a little while. From time to time, you might just have to clean down the sides of the mixing bowl. So we'll just do that now. And what we're looking for is a nice white or a nice pale creamy consistency. At this stage, you cannot overbeat it. You could let it go for a couple of minutes if you really wanted to, and there would be no such thing as overbeating it. Okay, hoping you can see that. That is a nice pale and fluffy consistency. Put the tilted head back down, and very gradually I'm going to add the 3 eggs one at a time. And once again, don't be afraid to stop the mixer and clean down the sides of the bowl. Okay, to that I'm going to add our grated lemon zest and a splash of maple syrup. It's about 20 grams. And I'm now going to add the milk. We had 60 millilitres of milk. And then to our flour, I'm going to add our baking powder. And I'll just give that a little bit of a mix. And I will add that to our batter. Now I'm going to be very careful when I set the mixer to go again so that the flour doesn't cloud all over me. I'm happy with that. I'll just clean down the paddle. And then I'm just going to give the bowl a mix with the silicone spatula, making sure to get to the bottom of the bowl where the paddle attachment was unable to reach. That is our Madeleine batter ready to go. So what are French Madeleines? They're basically just a small cake that are made in special form Madeleine shaped pans. This is a beautiful little dinky size one. This is perfect for kids. But this is generally the shape and size that they actually are. Just to let you compare, you can see the difference in size. So to prepare these pans, it's just a simple matter of covering them in butter and then sprinkling and shaking off any excess flour. So you're going to put flour on it and then shake it off. I'll demonstrate that to you now. If you can get spray butter, this will be very handy, but if not, you can just smear some butter on the inside. It's a nice thin film of butter. But for now, I'm just going to use the spray butter. And then I have some flour here that I'm just going to sprinkle over the top. Now, ideally, you could do this over your sink and it makes it easy for cleanup. But for demonstration purposes, I'll do it here. Okay. Excuse the noise. And there is your prepared Madeleine pan. I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Helps if I turn on the lights. So while the oven preheats, I'm now going to fill the Madeleine pan. So I'll get a spoon and a spatula. Not necessary, but does help. Give that one final mix. And all we're going to do is take our spoon spatula. And just fill each one of the Madeleine moulds. Don't worry if it doesn't look presentable at the minute. As this bakes, the mixture will settle down, spread out, and then expand. Okay, this batter makes enough for 24 normal sized French Madeleines. That one might be slightly on the smaller size. I guarantee you that when it cooks it will still be as edible as the others. But we don't like to waste batter here. So we got 24 French Madeleines out of that batter. And I think for half of them, I'm just going to dip a blueberry in. So into the center, you can face them pointing up or pointing down. It's entirely up to you. So while the Madeleines bake in the oven, they'll be in there at 180 degrees for approximately 12 minutes. Let's just quickly talk about equipment. As you can see, I used a stand mixer with a paddle attachment fixed. But if you don't have that, you don't have to worry. You can still make any kind of cakes and bakes if perhaps you do have a hand mixer, and you can use the little paddle attachments for those. And they very easily fix in using a slot method. Or you can go back to old school and you can just use a wooden spoon and a bowl. So don't worry if you don't have a stand mixer, you can still make these Madeleines. So there you can see our Madeleines straight out of the oven. They get that beautiful dome shape on top of them, and when I turn them out you'll be able to see the beautiful shell shape of the Madeleine, that traditional shell shape. So traditionally French Madeleines are made with a Genoese sponge. Genoese sponge basically being caster sugar and eggs whisked over a bain-marie of boiling water or simmering water. So you can see I didn't do it on this occasion. This would be more child friendly, where you could have your kid using the mixer to use the creaming method rather than doing it over a bowl of hot water. So this is just an ordinary creaming method for the Madeleine. These can be decorated further if you really want to. I mean, these are perfect as they are, and is how they would be eaten in France. But sometimes people would like to maybe dip them half along the edge into melted chocolate. That can be white chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate, and then further dip them into mixed chopped nuts, and that adds a little bit of extra texture and flavour.